Yandy Smith never saw this coming. She had always believed in the Mendeecees' resilience, having stood by them through numerous challenges, including jail time, family disputes, and various controversies. However, everything has changed now. A shocking video has surfaced, one that no one expected, and the internet is buzzing. Social media is alive with reactions, as fans are left stunned, heartbroken, and blindsided by the revelation that Mendeecees is seen with Rasheeda in this unexpected footage. Yes, that Rasheeda, the wife of Kirk Frost and Yandy's close friend for years. This is the same Rasheeda who has faced her own share of public scrutiny. The video captures Mendeecees and Rasheeda in a compromising situation during a late-night encounter, and Yandy was devastated upon seeing it. Without a moment's hesitation, she packed her bags and rushed to her lawyer's office. But how did this video get leaked? Was it an accident or a deliberate attempt to expose them? And why was Mendeecees with Rasheeda? Is there more to this story, or is this the ultimate betrayal? The drama is escalating, and you won't want to miss what unfolds next. As Mendeecees' words hit her like a dagger, Yandy stood frozen, her eyes locked on him, struggling to grasp the rapid unraveling of her world. The father of her children, the man she loved and the one who promised to always be there, had just been caught on camera, and now everything was at stake, especially since it involved Rasheeda, someone she had trusted deeply. In a tense and emotionally charged scene, Yandy grapples with feelings of betrayal and confusion as she confronts Mendeecees and Rasheeda about a compromising video that implicates them in a scandalous situation. The atmosphere grows increasingly oppressive, reflecting Yandy's internal struggle as she fights to maintain her composure despite her trembling hands and racing heart. Mendeecees, desperate and panicked, attempts to explain himself but is met with Yandy's unwavering skepticism and anger. Yandy's trust in Rasheeda, once a confidant, is shattered as she questions the authenticity of their relationship and whether Rasheeda was complicit in the betrayal. The confrontation escalates as Yandy demands clarity, rejecting any attempts at justification from Mendeecees, who is visibly torn by her hurt. The dialogue reveals Yandy's deep sense of deception as she grapples with the implications of the video and the reality of her relationships. As emotions run high, Yandy's incredulity and rage culminate in a powerful rejection of Mendeecees' explanations, leaving her feeling increasingly isolated and betrayed. The scene captures the raw intensity of human emotions in the face of betrayal, highlighting themes of trust, deception, and the struggle for truth amidst chaos. The narrative revolves around Yandy, who is grappling with the fallout from a leaked video that reveals a private moment with Rasheeda, a person she considered a friend. Yandy confronts Rasheeda, who insists that the incident was an error, but Yandy is filled with disbelief and anger, questioning the authenticity of their friendship. The tension escalates as Yandy decides to leave, unable to endure the situation any longer, and is haunted by the implications of the video. As Yandy drives away, she receives a chilling message from an unknown number, hinting that worse revelations are on the horizon. This intensifies her feelings of betrayal and fear, prompting her to seek solace at her sister Tasha's house. Upon arrival, Yandy is overwhelmed and shares the video with Tasha, who is equally shocked. Tasha urges Yandy to take a step back and reassess the situation, emphasizing that the issue extends beyond the video itself. The emotional turmoil Yandy experiences highlights themes of trust, betrayal, and the complexities of personal relationships in the face of public scrutiny. Yandy is engulfed in sadness and confusion as she confronts her sister Tasha about a troubling message that suggests a conspiracy against her. Tasha believes someone is manipulating Yandy to provoke a rash decision, indicating that the situation is more complex than it appears. Yandy feels overwhelmed and desires an end to the turmoil, while Tasha insists on uncovering the truth step by step. Meanwhile, Mendeecees is grappling with the fallout of his actions that have deeply hurt Yandy. He is at a loss for how to mend their relationship, feeling the weight of his mistakes. Kirk advises him to be honest with Yandy, emphasizing that she deserves the truth and that any hope of reconciliation hinges on transparency. Mendeecees acknowledges his love for Yandy but struggles with feelings of despair, fearing it may be too late to repair the damage. As Yandy returns home, she receives a call from Mendeecees, her heart racing with uncertainty about his intentions. The tension between them is palpable, and she is left questioning whether he will finally be honest or continue to deceive her. The narrative highlights themes of betrayal, the quest for truth, and the complexities of relationships under strain. What are you searching for, Mendeecees? He hesitated before speaking in an unusual tone. Please, Yandy, I need to talk to you. I realize I made a mistake and that I hurt you, but I assure you it was never my intention. Let me explain. Yandy felt a tightening in her stomach. I'm not sure I can handle any more of your excuses. I never realized how deeply you've affected me. Yet Mendeecees' voice continued. Please, Yandy, hear me out. There's more to this. I promise we're not done yet. Yandy's grip on the phone tightened as she contemplated ending the call and severing ties with him for good. Still, something compelled her to listen one last time. She wondered as his voice echoed in her ears. Is this the beginning of the end, or is there still a chance for deep redemption? Sitting on the edge of her bed, phone pressed to her ear, her mind raced with emotions. She replayed Mendeecees' words, but a nagging feeling told her it was all a futile plea. Please, just listen to me, he had begged. But as she listened, she questioned whether she truly wanted to hear him out. Glancing around her room, her eyes fell on the family portraits they had taken over the years. What had led to this moment? They had seemed so happy, building a life and dreaming of the future just yesterday. Now everything was crumbling. A single mistake, no, multiple mistakes had shattered her world. The memories of that painful moment replayed in her mind like a haunting film, and the image of Mendeecees and Rasheeda remained seared in her memory. How could he do this to me? She clenched her jaw, contemplating the depth of his betrayal. What kind of treachery had he committed? Yandy's emotions swayed as the seconds ticked by during the call. She felt heartbroken, not just angry. The video was no longer the sole issue. It was about the love that now felt like a deception and the years of trust that had been shattered in an instant. Mendeecees' voice broke through the silence, shaky and almost pleading. I made a mistake, Yandy. I promise you none of this was intentional. I know I've messed up before, but the Rasheeda video was just a mistake. No one understands me like you do. You know my true nature. Hearing the desperation in his voice made her breath hitch. There was a time when she would have believed him, when his reassurances brought her comfort. But now his words felt hollow, devoid of meaning. Her voice trembled as she replied, Mendeecees, I don't know if I can keep doing this. I can't pretend everything is fine anymore. You have no right to keep breaking my heart and expect me to move on. This is about more than just the video. It encompasses everything. On the other end of the line, he fell silent, struggling to find the right words. He realized he was losing her, and for the first time, he was at a loss. The weight of her words hit him hard. It wasn't just the affair that had caused harm and betrayal, but all the lies and secrets he had kept hidden. Finally, he whispered, I'm so sorry, his voice barely rising above a murmur. I never meant for things to escalate this way. I never wanted to hurt you. Yandy, you mean everything to me. I will do whatever it takes to make this right. I promise. Despite his words, Yandy found it hard to trust him. She recognized his charm when he desired something, his affection when it suited him, and his tendency to change the narrative when things didn't go his way. What makes this time different? She asked, her voice trembling but resolute. I need space. I need time to think. I have to figure out what's best for me and the children. I can't keep living in this endless turmoil. The weight of her words hung in the air, and he didn't argue or try to change her mind. He simply listened, letting her feelings sink in. He understood that this could be the last time Yandy would express herself like this. As her thoughts raced, she hung up the phone, wondering what had gone wrong. She had stood by him through all his struggles, including his mistakes and flaws. But this felt different. This was more than just a misstep. Their shared life felt betrayed by this situation. And though it hurt, she knew she could no longer pretend that everything was fine. Perhaps it was time to take a step back. Just then, a knock on the door broke her contemplation. Startled, Yandy looked up to see Tasha standing in the doorway, concern etched on her face. Are you okay? Tasha asked softly, studying Yandy's expression. Yandy sat in silence for a while, feeling as if the weight of the world was on her shoulders. She simply stared at her sister, until she finally let out a deep breath. Tasha, I'm not sure anymore. In fact, I really don't know. Tasha moved closer and sat beside her on the bed. It's okay to feel this way. You're going through an incredibly tough time, and you deserve so much more than this. I want you to see that. Despite the lies and the hurt, Yandy, you are strong. You are better than this. Yandy turned to her sister, tears brimming in her eyes. But Tasha, I love him. I don't know if I can just walk away. I'm not sure I can let go. Tasha gently squeezed her hand. You don't have to stay if you love him. Sometimes letting go is the hardest thing to do, but it can also be the healthiest choice for you. You deserve peace and happiness. Yandy felt the weight of Tasha's words settle in as the conversation paused. She had always prided herself on her strength and ability to hold everything together, but maybe it was time to release something that wasn't meant to be. Perhaps it was time to focus on herself. Meanwhile, Menz was pacing the living room, his nerves frayed. He could feel her absence deep within him. It was as if he was losing the woman he loved, the one he had promised to cherish. Despite his best intentions, it felt like he was only making things worse. Frustration mounted as he ran his fingers through his hair. What had gone wrong? This wasn't how it was supposed to be. Instead of building a future together, they were now tearing it apart. He was left with nothing after having promised her everything. The phone rang again as he tried to reach her, and a wave of anxiety washed over him as he stared at the screen. What if this was it? What if everything came to an end right now? When the voicemail notification chimed, he hesitated, staring at it for a moment, unsure of what to do. Finally, he pressed play. Yandy's voice came through, soothing yet laced with unmistakable pain. Hey Mendeecees, she began. I don't know what the future holds for us, but there's something important I need you to understand. I've given you everything I had, and now I need to focus on myself. I'm not sure if I can continue this with you. I need time and space, so please respect that. Her words cut deep. It was clear she was done, not just hurt. In that moment, Mendeecees realized he had lost her, his beloved girlfriend, the woman he had promised to love. After days of turmoil, Yandy's decision hung in the air like a dark cloud, overshadowing everything they had built together. It wasn't easy for her. She longed to call him and hear his voice again, but she knew she couldn't return to the man who had caused her so much pain. The damage was done, and despite her love for him, the betrayal and lies were too overwhelming. Meanwhile, Mendeecees was not just sitting idly by. He was in a desperate situation, eager to make things right and prove to Yandy that he could be the man she deserved. Yet the nagging feeling that he was losing her for good consumed him. He reached out to everyone who might help him mend their broken relationship. Friends, family, anyone who could offer support. But each day that passed without a word from Yandy felt like another nail in the coffin. Every time he checked his phone, hoping for a call or a message, his heart sank when nothing appeared. Alone in his apartment, he buried his head in his hands, whispering to himself, I messed up. I made a huge mistake. Men faced the repercussions of his actions, yet he remained oblivious to the full extent of the damage he had caused. It was not just about the Rasheeda video. It was a series of missteps and neglect that had accumulated over the years, marked by his disregard for his wife's feelings, untruths and broken promises. Yandy was now making a choice for herself, prioritizing her peace over the chaos he had brought into their lives. Meanwhile, she was piecing her life back together, striving to navigate her grief without the constant shadow of betrayal looming over her. Despite the heartache, she was resolute, reclaiming her strength. Dignity and happiness was far more crucial than merely moving on. She surrounded herself with friends and family who offered steadfast support, reminding her of the vibrant woman she had been before the turmoil. Yandy recognized that she could never be the woman who stayed in a fractured marriage out of habit, no matter how deep her love for men ran. As days turned into weeks, rumors began to swirl. Influencers were sharing their takes, fans were engaging in discussions, and the media frenzy escalated. The video spread like wildfire, leading to disastrous consequences. Every tabloid and website showcased Men and Rasheeda, with their names trending across all platforms. The fallout not only strained Men's relationship with Yandy, but also tarnished his overall reputation. People began to pose difficult questions during interviews, and friends, family, and even strangers weighed in on the scandal, with some suggesting that Yandy should forgive him simply because he was a man who made mistakes. This narrative quickly gained traction, with others accusing men of deceit and betrayal. Yandy, amidst the chaos, chose to stay away from the media spotlight. Instead of being swept away by the circus of attention, she focused on her children and the new life she was determined to build. Despite the constant stream of calls and messages filled with apologies and declarations of love from men, she had made a painful decision. The man who had promised to stand by her had broken that promise, and it was time for her to reclaim her life. Though the journey ahead was daunting, Yandy began exploring her options, consulting with a lawyer as her world shifted rapidly beneath her. Everything felt surreal as she balanced her plans for a future with him against those for a life without him. Each decision she made was bolstered by the unwavering support of her family, especially Tasha, who was her steadfast ally. Tasha would hold her sister's hand and remind her, "You've got this, Yandy. You are so much more than this drama." As the days went by, Yandy felt her inner strength blossoming. She was fighting not just for her future, but for her peace of mind. Just when it seemed like things were settling down, Nen showed up at her doorstep, flowers in hand and a remorseful look on his face, desperately asking for another chance. Standing in the doorway with her arms crossed, Yandy's expression was unreadable. While her eyes reflected pain, there was also a fierce resolve. She refused to let him hurt her again. She had endured too much. With quiet determination, she replied, "I'm done, Mendy. I can't keep living like this. I can't keep suffering. You have betrayed me after I gave you everything, and I won't allow it to continue." His face fell, and for a moment he was speechless. "I'm choosing me now," she declared, indifferent to whatever rehearsed lines he had prepared. As she walked away from him, Yandy's voice softened. "I apologize, but this is truly over." With that, she closed the door, leaving him feeling defeated and heartbroken. For the first time in years, Mendeecees realized he had lost everything. The following weeks were marked by silence. Yandy found peace amidst the chaos that once surrounded her. She focused on her personal growth, dedicating herself to her career, her children, and her own happiness. Meanwhile, Mendeecees faced an uncertain future, grappling with ongoing public backlash that threatened his career. He learned a harsh truth: the people you least expect to lose are often the ones who matter the most, and once they are gone, there's no turning back. Yandy had made her choice, and despite the swirling rumors about the controversy, her journey was just beginning. She took control of her life, confident in her strength to overcome any scandal, betrayal, or heartbreak, no matter where her path led. As this gripping story reaches its conclusion, one question remains: what will Mendeecees do next? Has he truly lost Yandy forever, or will he attempt to win her back? The damage may be irreparable, and the betrayal deep. What do you think? Does Mendeecees have a chance to make amends, or was Yandy right to walk away? Share your thoughts in the comments below. Should Yandy have given Mendeecees another opportunity, or did she make the right choice? Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more thrilling updates. If you enjoyed this detailed exploration of the latest celebrity scandal, click the notification bell so you won't miss the next captivating story.